Episode 72 of the Superparent Syndrome, and I am your host, Dr. Nick Fanning. Today's topic is, what's so wrong about asking for help? So sit back and relax, let's get started.
Parenting in the 21st century is ever evolving, and while you balance work, kids, and your sanity, it's easy to feel discouraged. Welcome to the Superparent Syndrome with your host, Dr. Nick Fanning.
Asking for help. So here's the weird thing about that. We have, for some reason in our society, a social stigma about asking for help, and I think it needs to stop. Here's the thing. I will let you know right now that my wife and I are in therapy, and it is the best thing that we could do for ourselves. Honestly, it's just one of those things where, you think hey, things are going well. What can we do to actually make things better? And sometimes you need a coach, okay? These coaches or therapists or doctors, whoever you might hire in your life to help kind of basically show you the way, is just like using tools to build something. So, it doesn't matter what you're trying to build. If you don't have the right tool for it, you're going to have a lot of frustration. You're going to have a lot of wasted time and energy. Whereas you're trying to use a penny to unscrew something where it could have just used a screwdriver. And instead of using a screwdriver, you could have a power screwdriver. These things are there to be more efficient, to make the job easier. And for some people, it could be making sure they have the right scraper for scraping off paint or whatever it might be. Here, the whole point is this, is that with the right tool, it's just flawlessly simple. And in your own life, you have to have the right tools to make sure that you're using have the best advantage to get things done. And so what I mean by that is that we have these people that are surrounding us that are there and willing to help us. Yes, some are going to be paid. Some are going to be out of the goodness of their hearts. Some are going to be family members or friends. But if you try to isolate yourself, if you try to stay in a bubble, nothing's going to change. I mean, it could. And, sometimes we get in these things where we just procrastinate because we just don't want to deal with it. And in that case, yeah, it's going to change, but change for the worse. So I implore you, listener, parents out there, it's okay to ask for help. In fact, it's encouraged. I will tell you this. If you don't ask for help, the problem's going to get worse. So for example, I had a client, a young couple, first baby, born right around Christmas. And in early April, it was finally when they actually decided to come see me after seeing about 5 or 6 different doctors. And all those doctors just saying, the kid's going to grow out of it, kid's going to grow out, kid's going to grow out of it. Well, with a colicky baby, anybody that's had a colicky baby has known that the crying, the lack of sleep can just destroy you. And, you start having guilt as well because of some of the terrible things you're thinking, or even just the stress at home or stress in your marriage. And all it took was having the right tool, me, to make sure that went away. So then all of a sudden this baby is starting to take naps, starting to sleep, starting not to spit up. And all it took was just thinking outside the box of thinking hey, am I using the best resource possible to make sure I take care of this problem? And it may not be what you always think. So for them, it was definitely outside the box of them considering it. And if they hadn't asked for help from a family member for advice, they wouldn't have gotten the recommendation to come see me. So it's just like this. We have an expression in my little accountability group that pain shared is pain divided. That by speaking about it, it has no power over you. By talking to others about it, you might have a fix or some sort of solution you never would have considered, and then be able to find the right tool to help you. So what this means is that if you're currently struggling with your body, you might need to work with a personal trainer or a dietitian, because if you would have done it, if you could have done it on your own, you would have done it by now. Or maybe even a psychotherapist, where somebody can help you deal with the underlying root issues faster, so that way you can actually get moving faster. For me, I had a body image issue that I just could not get over, and that's been holding me back even in my body progressions. But now, that I talk about it, now I start to delete that story. I just know that my foot's going to be off the brake. For your marriage or for your relationship with your children, you might need to call in an expert. And there's nothing shameful about it. You're just trying to make sure that you have the best results possible. And you need to reconsider that there may be nothing wrong with you, just the approach that you're taking. Okay, and it might just be the fact of if this communication strategy might be better. So, for example, our therapist last week talked a little bit between the difference between male brains and female brains and how we best communicate. And that, even though I had heard the information before, it was like one of those ahas, crap, I heard that information, but I was not applying that knowledge. And so it just took a little course correct, and we're back on point, okay, and communicating that much better. It could be the fact of like, hey, maybe you got out of the habit of going for your weekly date with your spouse and you just need to get back to that. And so, the tool that you're going to use is a babysitter that you trust to make sure you have that freedom both in mindset, but also in time to actually get away from the house to take care of those kids. Okay. In business, it could be a coach or an advisor to help you through whatever it might be. If it's a marketing coach or a specialist there, or even a financial planner to help you budget or whatever it might be. The thing is this. We've been too long in isolation. And even though we're more and more connected on social media, we're actually getting less and less connected in real life. And so I want you to go outside of your bubble and think of like, who can I bring in? Who can I ask for help to actually get me through this problem? And it's going to take 20 seconds of insane courage. But I can tell you this, if somebody approached you asking for help from you in whatever field that you love doing, would you be hesitant to help them? Would you mock them? Would you make fun of them? Or would you gladly step up and offer your help? That's what you're going to be doing with other people. Spread that love, spread that enthusiasm, and delegate. Get those people on your team to help you out so you can even do that. Or if you don't want to delegate, then help them to train you to make sure that you don't have to delegate and that you can do that because you want to own it. Either way, that's your ultimate life hack, okay, is asking the right people and building the right team or the right advisors or doctors or trainers or therapists around you to make sure that you don't hold yourself back anymore. So me as a coach, as a chiropractor, as a doctor, I do that as well. So if you need help, reach out to me. Anyway, love and gratitude, folks. Bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of The Super Parent Syndrome. Please be sure to visit peptalksforparents.com for more content and our free newsletter. And remember, you are not alone.